Okay, I think we're back. We're gonna try
Hopefully.
this again. Oh boy. Alright, so I'll go ahead and just have this note in the episode. But for anyone wondering why I'm talking like this right now, it's because the stream split for whatever reason. I have literally no idea why, and so we're holding this together by a string and gum.
It's the media. They're trying to take us down, LJ. They know.
Great. This is the FTC. They're like, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so as I was saying, YouTube sucks. This is entirely on Google's hands. They caused this current situation because they wanted to get data from children to sell to toy companies like Hasbro and Mattel. That's garbage. Absolute
Right.
garbage. If you want someone to blame, you want a finger to point at someone or something, Google. They're responsible for this.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. So, it's garbage. It's annoying. Brian, what are you doing currently to work with these new guidelines, as it were? What are you as a creator, a content creator who has all ages content, who might be affected by something like this? What are you doing to mitigate the ramifications?
A whole lot of nothing. Well, so I've built my entire identity since, the Brick Show days of being, a family friendly content creator. I don't like to swear. I like to talk about the things that I love, which obviously involves Lego and video games and all that. And it's not something that I would change in my personal content to, now go to swearing and being, a bit of an older demographic, because that's not the demographic I want. That's not the type of, audience that I would want to have. I like having the audience of, people who are positive and can contribute to the conversation no matter what age you are. It just so happens that it happens to be young, but it's also plenty of parents and whatnot who watch as well. So I'm not necessarily uh, pandering to the kids at all. That's not what I'm doing. So what I've done in my live stream specifically, because that's where a lot of people like to interact with me, is on YouTube. That's a lot of my live streaming following, even though I am on Twitch and Mixer and Facebook as well. On the top of the actual video itself, I have a ticker that says, hey, you're not going to be able to comment on live streams as of January 1st, 2020. So if you want to talk to me, go to Twitch, go to wherever, because you can't on YouTube. If you want to know more information, research COPPA and do it that way. Now, a lot of kids are still like, well, what are you talking about? Why can't I comment? And I'm like, I literally put it in the top of the video. Like, what do you mean? It's right there. So that is probably going to be the most hard hitting thing for me personally, is the comments on the live streams. And a lot of the comments that I get on videos are not necessarily constructive to the actual video. I'm sure you see this a lot. It's like, oh, I was first. It's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
no, I don't appreciate those type of comments anyways. So that sort of stuff I'm definitely not going to miss. And I think it's a whole, I could dive deeper into how, like, the philosophy of, like, commenting on stuff and what, like, trying to get that positivity into a comment section and what likes do to a video and all that sort of stuff. And it's not that, like, older kids are not, or even, people who are, our age are not positive. It's just that I feel like a lot of kids, or a lot of, like, younger people, have plenty of stuff to watch that isn't necessarily for them that they watch, where a lot of people who watch my stuff typically they understand my sense of humor and how I go about doing things, and it it just is overall more positive. I don't want to have the audience of the a lot of, like, Twitch streamers who stream, I like, in real life content. It's just the type of community that's on there is not one that I think is healthy at all. It can be very toxic. It can be very just not positive, and that's not what I want. I have my little, I guess, for lack of a better term, bubble between my audience and other people I collaborate with and whatnot. it works out that I don't get many like haters and other, you know, people like that. And if I do, just boom, you're blocked and gone. And then I just keep like the people who are cool. So whatever I can do to retain that is what I want. It's just not many of the younger viewers understand that COPPA is a thing and they won't be able to comment. So for all they know, my first live stream I do in 2020, they're like, well, wait, what happened? Why can't I talk to Brian? And then I don't know what'll happen, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean that makes a lot of sense. When it comes to the comments, I obviously am going to miss a lot of constructive, positive ones because I love reading comments.
Sure.
Recently, I've been a little, you know what? Maybe I won't exactly miss these comments because I've been doing Throwbot / Slizer reviews as of late, and just a slew of comments. I call them Slizers because I think that's a cooler name than Throwbots, but they're named differently in Europe than they are in the States. So in Europe, they're going to be their elements, so things like fire, water, city, or stuff like judge, stuff like that. But stateside, they're torch, scuba, Amazon, so on and so forth. And so I call them by their state names, but the theme by its European name. And it's just a slew of people going, you know, they're actually called
Yeah.
jungle or judge or what have you. And it's like, I've been doing these reviews for the Thorbots for 4 weeks now. Do you think I'm going to change that? I see the comments. I'm not calling them something different. And so it's stuff like that. The repetition, the people going, actually, when I already know this stuff and not really adding to any kind of a conversation, that stuff can go away. That stuff can go away and it's going to be like, all right, well, now I don't really have to worry about it as much. But everything else kind of disappoints me.
You know, the best thing I found, like, you wouldn't believe how many people don't actually end up commenting on my videos specifically, but I get so many parents through Facebook that reach out to me privately and say how much, you know, like their kids enjoy my videos and thank you for what you're doing, all that. Because to me, the comment section seems more of an open forum. It's just a different sort of philosophy when it comes to a comment section as opposed to a specifically directed Facebook message or a Twitter DM or whatever, where like if you can't leave a comment on a video, most of the people are like, all right, whatever, bye. But the people who do want to reach out to you and say, hey, I really enjoy your videos, or hey, this is something you, and comment on something specifically, like they're going to make the effort to reach out to you because they care enough about it. It won't be as simple as let me just scroll down, leave a comment, and dash, because most of those people who do, excuse me, but actually, like those type of people either just want to nitpick for the sake of being that type of person, or they just got nothing better to do. So they're going to leave this comment and then run away and they don't care about your response. They just care about being right. So to me, other than the people who comment constructively on my videos, I don't care about the comments. I don't care about what you have to say about that specific video. If you felt so passionately about it, then you can message me personally, and people do all the time. It's going to go away. There's plenty of platforms for people to reach out to me on. And for live streaming, you know, you can comment on Twitch and on Facebook and Mixer. That's totally an option for you. But I feel like it's just going to try to mitigate damage in a way, because if you don't keep an eye on your comment section, if you have a channel with 500,000 subscribers, you can get some really awful stuff in that comment section, and it can get super out of control to the point where you can't keep up with it. You got other stuff you got to do. So I see it as one less thing to worry about, except in the case of live streaming. That I don't like. But if that's what is a part of the deal, then I guess that's a part of the deal, you know?
Yeah, I'm still working out in my head what I'm going to do about the live streaming, because the reason the show was delayed the extra 2 weeks, as opposed to like the just 2 weeks I said I was going to have a break for, is really because this happened and I wasn't sure how to continue the show. Because I really like having a chat like this that I can I can see and that people can interact on and so on.
Right.
But that's going away. Now, the option is we'll just open up a Discord server and then you can have it shown on screen. That is a lot more work. It's a lot harder to moderate. Like on YouTube, I can just go click buy. But on Discord, I can go click buy, but potentially not before damage will be done. Or before a
Right.
group of people come in and raid the chat, which has happened before. Like, I don't want to
Yep.
deal with that. I can already deal with it
No.
on YouTube pretty easily, but on Discord, it's a little more complex. There are more layers to that, and I don't really want to deal with it. I want to have to curate people or post the link. Don't forget to join the Discord, and then have it show
Right.
up on screen where people could say something that might get past a filter, and now it's on the video, no matter how fast I delete it or what have you. It's just not worth it.
That exact thing happened to me where I have specifically the Twitch comments on my video. Like when I go to full screen on my live stream, I have the Twitch comments there because, you know, that's the only thing that works with Streamlabs OBS. It can't sync the YouTube chat. And it's like, oh, if you want to be shown on camera, your little name, pop on over there. And I had a moderator of mine like type out a swear on like the Twitch side, and it appeared on the video, and I didn't realize because I'm just in my zone and I'm going. And like he spammed incessantly, like, get rid of it, get rid of blah blah blah, and everyone made a big deal out of it. And I'm like, all right, and then just delete it. But that doesn't mean that it's not on the video. And then if somebody else watches that, especially, and like I just keep like the kids in mind, like maybe not even the kids in that case, but like the parents, because I don't want to have someone say like, oh well, but Brian, I can trust your videos, I can trust your content, but then you have this thing happen, and it's like I can't take that risk, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something you can't control, and that would only get worse the bigger and bigger that you got. And the real answer is not having a comment section like that. And like for years and years, like if you think of the philosophy of like television, you know, you can't comment on a TV show you watch. You can't comment on the latest episode of The Mandalorian. You go somewhere else to do that. Like you don't comment on the video itself. There's other places to go and discuss that. So if you wanted to look at it from that standpoint, like this is a piece of content itself, you can go and discuss it other places, but the content is what it is. And if you like it, great. If you don't, whatever. But you don't need to comment on it. It doesn't, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean that is an interesting perspective I hadn't heard before yet, and I think there's a lot of validity to it. It's just for me, I've always enjoyed having a community to interact with, and having some
Right.
Like a hands-on group of people who are all very unique and interesting that can add to a dialogue or a conversation. Maybe they can't
Right.
otherwise. Maybe they can't elsewhere, but they can here, and I find that to be cool. But at the same time, you are getting a lot of mix, and sometimes a lot of that mix is negative. And at what point is it not worth going through the hoops and the trouble to try and keep something which does as much harm as it does good?
Right. And my only experience has been, no, I'm not saying that I haven't fostered a community or I don't appreciate the community of people that watch my videos. Of course I do. But for a lot of the people that are watching these kid directed videos, the people I was talking about before with YouTube Kids, like, if I guarantee you, if you looked at that comment section, if there even is one, it's all just a bunch of nonsense because it's kids just talking about whatever they're going to talk about. It's not anything constructive. So I don't know if YouTube from the get-go was your best place to foster a community, where Discord as a platform is just more apt to host something like that, where it's going to be very contained. Because for a Discord server, for the most part, you have to have an invite only, where, okay, wouldn't you want people who are invite only to your community to contribute? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, I get you. Yeah, it's a conundrum. It really is. It's one that really, I feel like it's going to take a little bit more thought Unfortunately, I only have like 4 more weeks to do that thinking,
Yeah.
and it's interesting. But at the end of the day, it's more than likely just going to result in the loss of a live chat. Whether or not a Discord will spring from that, I don't know, but that's just kind of where it sits right now. So, do you have
Yeah.
anything else to add regarding the whole COPPA YouTube situation? Any advice maybe for creators who are looking to try and get into this field, get into this hobby, but might be a little intimidated by what's happening right now?
So the thing that I've seen over the past 10 years of doing YouTube on and off and seeing people start it and stop it and start it again and try to make a career out of it and then move on to other things and whatnot, it's just like any other thing you try to do in life where there's going to be people who are really good at it that get lucky, people that they're just in the right place, right time, you know. And I'm saying this just for people who want to start their own like a YouTube channel or their own gaming channel and want to be the next Markiplier or PewDiePie or whatever. Like those are the people I feel like COPPA is going to impact the most because those are the people that, you know, want to do this long term and they don't want to be limited by these restrictions because that is integral to growth. So as YouTube was years ago, it was new. It was the Wild West. It was, you know, you could upload an episode of Family Guy and share the clip all over, and no one would care because it's YouTube, whatever. But now YouTube is big business. Now Twitch is big business. All of these platforms, these social media platforms that we're on, all involve ad revenue. They involve advertisements. They involve all these laws and all these whatnot, where all the people who make these laws know what the internet is. Whether or not they like understand it is different, but they know it's a thing. I've seen comments of people saying we need a new YouTube, and I don't know if you've heard these comments, LJ, or if you have any thoughts or feelings about that specifically, but I don't believe that may ever happen again because that's not the answer. Because I mean, at least in my opinion, YouTube was founded on being this platform you can share, you know, clips and whatnot on. But as soon as it was bought by Google, Google was always in the business of making money. So they're going to optimize it for making as much money as possible, which is why you have people like, you know, the Tonight Show and all these mainstream, you know, entities making all the money and showing up on trending and whatnot, where for someone to make a video platform where people can upload stuff whatever they want to for free doesn't make any financial sense, which is why YouTube is still losing money for Google. Like to this day, still, it does not make as much money as people think, but it's a service. That's what it's founded on. I think if YouTube had it their way, they would rather be like Netflix, where they have just specific types of people and specific types of creators on there because they know that's what's making them money and they can trust those creators to not get involved with any of this other stuff. So, unless there is like an internet 2 or some other thing that the kids all know about and the adults don't understand, there isn't going to be a new YouTube. These laws are going to apply everywhere on the internet, and the days of it being the Wild West are coming to a close because it's been that way for the past 10 years. This is all mainstream media, it's big business, it's the government laws, it's everything. And that's not going to change on YouTube. It's not going to change on Twitch or Facebook or Twitter or anything. It's only going to become more, you know, like a city and less like your gunslingers and saloons out in the Wild West. So that's what I have to say that I haven't heard anyone mention at all, because that's what I hear some people saying, that there should be a new YouTube and there's just not going to be.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of where things sit right now. The Wild West is definitely coming to an end. If it not, it has already ended. Uh, and YouTube
Do you
would
play
definitely prefer what you were suggesting, to have more
Yeah.
curated content than what they have right now.
You ever play you play video games, LJ?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, right
You
after
ever
this show, provided my internet doesn't flop like a dead fish on land, gonna join up with some of the TTV guys, and we're gonna play the new Modern Warfare.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever played Red Dead Redemption 1 or 2?
I've not.
Ooh, good games.
I've
Good
heard.
games. That's the whole idea of that franchise is like, you have the lawmen of the East and they're running from this they're trying to, make everything, the law. The law is coming out to the West, but these last couple of gunslingers are out there hanging on to the last of what they can before the government comes to get them. And plot twist, ladies and gentlemen, the government comes to get them, and it's like, you can't do anything about it. It's just that's just how it's going to work, and that's how the internet is going to work until there's something new, which you and I have no idea what that is and can't understand it because it doesn't exist yet. But when it does, we'll be like, oh, there's the next opportunity, and people will go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really gonna take someone else to go, you know what? I want to compete with YouTube to fix a
And
lot of these issues.
you know what? That takes a lot of money.
Yes, it
So
does.
have fun.
Yep. The only reason that this is even somewhat sustained is not actually because of content creators on the platform or advertisers. No, YouTube is a money sink.
Yep.
It does not turn a profit. The only reason that this is sustained is because it's Google backing it, and Google can be fined $170 million and not blink.
Right. And it's a part of the what's the like phrase I want to come up for? It's like it's just a part of like culture. You upload something to YouTube, and it's a way for you to share videos and whatnot. But like you can look at anything on YouTube and like find it. Like if you miss Saturday Night Live, boom, there it is right there, done.
Yeah.
Because NBC put in the time to put it there, and it's easily accessible. Like it is just the video streaming platform. If like there's a reason why nobody else is doing it. Like, and anyone else that is trying it right now doesn't have the advertising money or the server space or whatever. But who knows what people will go to next. One of the newest social media platforms is TikTok. That's blowing up like crazy. There was Vine before it, and there was MySpace and AOL and Yahoo before all that. So it's not like YouTube is the end all be all, but until someone wants to take on that task, good luck. Have fun.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's kind of where things sit for now. So
right. And who's to say that the next platform that comes around wouldn't end up being just like YouTube? Because if the money is there and you're in that position and you're like, you know what, that person might just be like, I'll just sell out. I'll just sell this thing, and then whatever happens, whatever, gone by. So Bricklink, but like, who knows? Who knows? So hey, hey, so you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. So
yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, I think that's about all we can say for the moment. We kind of got to wait and see how this actually affects people once it's implemented fully, which is going to be at the beginning of the year.
Definitely.
So, it's kind of where things sit. All right.
The internet didn't poop, LJ.
Yeah, no, not right now. It hasn't. Unfortunately, it's because I'm on a less reliable connection, ironically enough. I gotta figure out what's going on. I'm chomping at the bit to figure out this nonsensical situation.
Yeah.
So
it's going good so far. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's surviving. So that's going to give us enough lifeline to discuss the next subject. And I'll just go ahead and throw the picture up right now. Let's see, there we go. We discussed last time that the next time you were going to be on, we were going to actually dive into something I have zero information about. Like, this is a part of you that I know nothing of. I didn't know that this was even something you were involved in. The Brick Show.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and start from the top. Tell us what that was like, what the Brick Show was, what your involvement was, and how you ended up transitioning from that to what you do now.
So it's funny that you say that, like, you had no idea I was a part of it, because I feel like a lot of people who are in the Lego community also had absolutely no idea, which is incredible considering how much I was doing for the channel toward the end of its YouTube life. But it is what it is. So I worked for multiple years on a YouTube channel. Well, for it's not just a YouTube channel, shop, etc., called The Brick Show, a channel that was one of the founding personalities slash brands on YouTube that would review Lego sets, report on the news, do other stuff as well. And I was a fan of them back when they were first, a thing. And I remember one of the reviews that I first took into consideration for me to buy something based on their review was I think it was Joker's Funhouse from the original 2012 run, the first run of Lego DC superhero set, not Lego Batman, but Lego DC superheroes. Those sets, and that set, I believe I forget who specifically reviewed it, but they gave it a very high score, and I'm like, oh, now I'm actually gonna go buy that, and I did, and it's one of my favorite sets of all time because of how cool it is. And I initially liked their videos because I personally don't care about the nitty gritty of, this is a slightly different color piece from, like, to me, like light gray and light bluish gray, same thing. That's just me. So I know that's not correct. I know that is not the.
It is heresy, yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's. I know that's not correct, but like, I just didn't care about that. I cared about a set. All right, what characters do you get in the set? Is it a cool set? Is it fun? Is it worth my money? Like, I wanted the overall gist of the thing. And like someone like Jangbricks, for example, goes into incredible depth about every single piece and variant of minifigure and whatnot. And I just don't care about that. And that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the type of content I want. Like, just tell me if it's cool, whatever. And that's what they covered. And that's what I appreciated. So I watched their videos for a while. And it eventually got to a point where I saw that they were doing gameplay videos of the Lego movie in 2014. And it was before or right around the time the movie came out. And I was a senior in high school. I was a senior in high school, going from 2013 into 2014. And I remember seeing those videos and I'm like, okay, here is a video clip of whoever playing the Lego movie video game. It's in 4:3 aspect ratio. There's no commentary. This isn't what should be happening when you're doing a gaming video. You should be commentating over it. You should be adding something to it. It should be in proper high definition, widescreen, etc. And I'm like, okay. This is kind of garbage. So I emailed or messaged the Facebook page and I said, hey, who would I get in touch with to talk about something? Like, oh, here's the email. And so I sent that message, I believe New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, 2013 or 2014. I forget. But it was like a very iconic date I remember in my mind. Like, it was significant in some way. So I must have had something in me that said, you know what? Just send a message. Just see what happens. It's one of those on a whim moments where I was a fan of this thing. And, they always say, like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, blah, 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 blah. And I decided, I guess, just to go for it. So I went for it and responded. And so I said, hey, so I've been doing this for a long time. Here's some of my work. I do gaming videos, and I'd like to make videos for you if this is something that you're going to keep doing. And so I think it was Jason who I was emailing, and he checked out my channel, and he was like, yeah, sure, go ahead and make videos. I'm like, what? Yeah, no, just go ahead and just go do it. We'll give you like $20 a video. Well, what? That's it? Okay, cool. So then I just kept doing it. So it was literally just as simple as like reaching out and being like, hey, can I do this thing? And he's like, yeah, go ahead. And I thought, wow, what if I never, ever messaged or never took that shot? And it's one of those, like, like success stories slash iconic moments, like, you know, like the thing is always that you should, take, you never know what's going to happen, right? You
Yeah,
never know.
you
You
miss
never
every
send that.
shot you don't take.
Right. You never know. Like, life is so crazy that it could either go really well or nothing could happen at all. And it just so happened to be in that moment that it worked. And I was like, wow, I should do this more often. I should take more risks that could benefit me long term. And then the anxiety kicks in and then I don't do it. So, anyways, moving on with the video thing, it was a thing that I did for a while, doing specifically gaming videos. So any new Lego game that came out, Lego Dimensions. What else did I do? Not Lego Jurassic Park. I did a couple of, like, obviously whatever was coming out. It's all a blur because there's 7,000 Lego games. But Lego Dimensions, I remember being one of my favorites. So it eventually got to a point where the channel was, doing well. They were doing all sorts of reviews and whatnot, but over time they were taking a step back. Steven and Jason were taking a step back to focus more on what they were doing with their shop and the actual selling of Lego stuff at shows and whatnot. And I had always been about the content. I only cared about how videos were doing. I had worked in Lego brand retail. I know, like, the retail side of things. I don't want any involvement with that. I don't care. I care about entertaining people and interacting with people one on one and all that. So they were starting to do that. And I think what people saw on the outside was them taking a step back and then all these other random people, ergo myself, taking over, where I had been doing videos for them for a while until it was me who was doing a lot of the news videos and the reviews and whatnot, which is when I got my own office that, they hooked me up with over here and all that. So it was an interesting thing seeing how people reacted when that started to be more of a thing in the ongoing years. So, people, and like, I had access to the YouTube channel where I could, like, view comments and respond to people and upload videos and all this sort of stuff and do thumbnails or whatever. So I had the ability to do all that. And people would obviously ask, where's Steven, where's Jason? I'm like, I don't know. Like, they can make videos and do whatever whenever they want to. But it turns out, with the way YouTube ad money works, if you make a Lego set review of a $60 set, even with 400,000 YouTube subscribers, you don't make $60 in ad revenue back. A lot of the views and whatnot don't add up to what you got to make back to compensate the cost of things. So doing reviews seemed to make less and less sense over time, even though that's what a lot of people really wanted. And it just wasn't something that people, I certainly wasn't going to tell people because it wasn't in my place to say anything and speak on their behalf, which is why whenever I responded on a comment, I always put like a squiggly line, Brian. So you knew it was for me, which some people, would be like, well, who's this guy? Who cares? But some people who knew the videos themselves knew it was me, and they appreciated the clarification. Like, when you have multiple people on this channel, I want to make sure that you're getting an answer from this person or that person, whatever. So, and by that point, anyways, a lot of people who had known the Brick Show from the earlier days didn't even know I was a thing. Like, I for some, I don't know how it ended up working out the way it did, but like, all the people who it resonated with when they were kids then became like teenagers. So by the time they came back, they were like, oh, who's this random dude? Whatever. Like, where are the other two? And people didn't even pay attention to what I was doing and how much work I was putting into the channel and how much that was affecting me. Even though those guys were doing the retail stuff and everything behind the scenes. Like, I was one of the only people actually talking about like the sets and whatnot. It was my input, but a lot of people just didn't care, which what is fine, is totally fine. But the channel was founded with the Brick Show being Steven and Jason, and I wasn't them. So what the heck? And I understand that, which is why I make it a point with my own videos, like, hey, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I do. So it got to a point where I was doing news videos and whatnot, and it was my job to report on, whatever was new, figures and all this other stuff. And there was like a time where before Infinity War came out, like I got a not baby Groot, Teen Groot figure from some guy on Instagram. I forget who it was, but I bought it from him for like $15 and he sent it to me and I reviewed it, and it was before anything was officially revealed and blah blah blah, but I got it and put it on YouTube and like that was fine. So it was like certain stuff like that was fine. And I don't personally know what the channel's affiliation with Lego was. I have no idea. That was, above my pay grade. I was just making the news videos and doing the stuff, and that's all I knew. So like I didn't know if like they were cool with Lego or Lego was, I had no idea. So like there would be images that surface either through Reddit or Instagram or wherever of like, okay, here's this Aquaman minifigure that, I mean, I'm sure that and plenty of other people watching, there are figures that get, taken off the assembly line. Someone takes a picture of it or someone tries
Yep.
to sell it on
Yep.
Facebook Marketplace, and it happens all the time. And it's not like um obviously it was a leak, but it wasn't like unofficial stuff, I guess. So whenever that popped up, I'm like, okay, well, here's this thing, here's this image, it's of a figure or whatever. So it was my job, as told by, Steven and Jason, hey, report on the news, whatever it is. I'm like, all right, cool. So I did that. And what ended up happening was the channel went down because of 3 copyright strikes based on, unofficial images and stuff from sets yet to be announced or revealed. So what I'll refer you to is Jason actually did a great video on the whole situation from his point of view. Some of that stuff, which I didn't even know, he didn't even tell me, someone who was working for the company, no clue, some little details in there, but he put it in that video there. So that's something that you can research on your own. It has like 100,000 views. It explains a lot of it. But
I remember watching that video too. It was
yeah,
incredibly informative.
yeah. So what I remember the images were I think the Aragog set, I think from Harry Potter, um an Aquaman minifigure, which was reported on by other sites as well. So usually when I saw that stuff, or like whoever saw that stuff, we're like, okay, it's fine, whatever. But I guess it gotten taken down from those other sites, but not us, and like it was a whatever. But the kicker was what Elogger is saying in the chat now, the Ultimate Collector Series Porg. So what I did was I blurred out the entire image. So on it was still like a watermarked image, but I blurred the whole thing. So you couldn't see the watermark. You could tell it was a blocky Porg, but I blurred it all. But obviously should not have done that in the first place. I did not upload or show the specific water, like, on a Lego thing, it says confidential, do not show, blah, blah, blah. I didn't show that. It's not like you can see it, like, boom, here you go. It's all blurred out, but it obviously was not good enough, and it's not something I should have done in the first place. So yes, that was the one where I'm like, yeah, okay, that is understandable. And it just so happened it was 1, 2, 3, bing, bang, boom. And then I had no involvement with any, lawyers or Lego or anything that, the channel is not in my name. It's not whatever. And obviously, like, I wasn't just the only one in control of the channel. Like, everyone had, keys to the car, could have seen if something was, could the video have been taken down by Steven or Jason? Yes, but they trusted me to make the videos, and I should have known better. And obviously, I felt incredibly awful when I heard about all 3 of the strikes and like and everything. Like I can't even begin to describe like how I felt in the week of all of that basically hitting the fan. No one has any idea except my personal friends that know. No one knows how I felt. And that is because it wasn't it wasn't my creation that but it was something that I worked on, and I didn't want to, make all the people who watched the videos for so many years who grew up with that stuff so unhappy, because now these videos are gone. And then all these people around here who are lapsed fans and whatnot, they won't ever get a chance to go back to look at those videos. And especially as someone who was brought on as a team member to make this thing better, and I was doing what I thought the best thing was, well, now the whole thing just blew up in my face. And I totally just threw this at a wall, and there's nothing I can do about it. So how do I even process and do any? And the beauty of it was that nobody, like, it seemed like the channel went down and everyone's like, okay, let me try to think about what I want to say, how I want to say it here.
Mhm.
Like, nobody was like this is Brian's fault or whatever. Nobody, like, that never came to me, except I put it all on myself. And it was all like internal with me, Jason and Steven and all the rest of them. Like, it was all me, but no one blamed me outside, because no one knew who I was, because nobody cared to watch the videos and to notice how much work I was putting in, which again is totally fine. The people that know how much I was putting into that channel and how much work I was putting in, they know, and they're with me till this day. But that's beside the point. So when the channel went down, it was right around the time of Brick World Chicago. It was like it went down like a day before I left for Chicago.
Mhm.
So it was obviously something that I know for a fact you've seen of. Well, I won't even get to there. Let me talk more about the channel itself. So it went down. Jason hadn't uploaded his video yet about the situation, so that is basically what he was saying in that video, is a lot of how he was communicating it to me and to everyone else. So not a lot of that surprised me. And as far as I know, is truthful. He's not leaving anything out that I know about that, you guys and girls don't know about either. So what was really the worst of it, which is mostly why I haven't wanted to talk about it to this point, was the the overwhelming community reaction from when the channel went down.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a fact you know this firsthand.
Mm.
So I was a wreck. And nobody I when you go through something like that, the last thing you want to do is say something as an emotional reaction that could either not convey exactly what you wanted to convey, because it's an emotional reaction. You need to process it, you need to articulate it properly, you need to sit on it, you need to think about it over and over and over again. And that's what I've done really up until this point. I haven't wanted to talk about it because I wanted it to be the right circumstances. I didn't want it to come offhand, and not that I needed to rehearse it, but it was so much information and so many things going on. And I'm sure you can ask me questions and I can explain stuff, and people in the chat tuning in live can as well. But that was all happening. And the way that some people reacted, and I will never mention names,
I know
the
who
way
you're
that
talking about, but
yep, the way that some people reacted, I can't even begin to describe in family friendly terms how it made me feel. I thought that there were people out there who were really just trying to bring down. I took it a lot personally, which I shouldn't have, because it was never an attack against me. But for the couple years that led up to the channel going down, it was a lot of what I was putting into it, and obviously the foundation of what Steven and Jason have done, and that legacy that so many people enjoyed for many years, and what they continued to do until the very end. But the reaction that came out of that situation really changed my perspective on the Lego community the people who are in depth in the weeds of it as they are, uh, because it was very, very disheartening to see how many people said, okay, well, I'm glad they're gone, or they suck, or bleep them, or whatever. Like, to see something that I had cared about so incredibly passionately, and to see something that I worked incredibly hard on, as well as other people, and to see these people who have no information whatsoever about the inner workings of the situation, B, haven't even supported the channel ever, or C, haven't supported the channel for years, all these people come out of the woodwork and they say, oh, well, now this and that and blah, 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 blah. And all these people are running their mouths and they don't know what they're talking about. And they still don't have all the right information to this very day. And those are the type of people that I will never associate myself with, that I've made a conscious effort not to talk to, because that is that that in itself ended up being the foundation of how I wanted to present myself online forever. And the
Mm-hmm.
same reason that, I'm not going to change from being family friendly or anything like that. I want to foster an audience that is incredibly positive, that can see the light at the end of the tunnel, that can be there for each other and provide positive insight into situations, and look at things realistic, but not to get in over your heads. Don't say stupid things. Think about things before you say them, and especially because I know for a fact my audience is very young, and these are very, very impressionable kids that are out there. And you have a choice when you are in a position of influence. You can either use that for good or use that for bad. You can use your audience to go after causes and people, to bring other people down, to, invade someone else's comment section or bring hate and negativity to another person, or you can do something positive with it. And I absolutely will never on my life will ever do anything to bring down other people in that negative way, because and again, it was never personal. My name was never mentioned because nobody cared about my name, but it offended me hardcore, and it really tore me apart. Even though it wasn't personal, that's how it was presented, and that's something I will make an effort ever to do, which is why I promote it in my live streams all the time, in my videos all the time. And if I ever hear about anybody in my live streams, or anybody that tunes in or comments or whatever, if they're being toxic or negative or a Debbie Downer just to bring other people down, get them out of here, ban them, gone. I don't care. That's not what I want. That's not what I want to foster, because I've been on the receiving end of that, and I hate it. I hate it with a passion, and it's taken me so long to properly articulate how I felt about it without letting my emotions get the better of me, which is why I haven't talked about it for so long. And something that I want to talk about with you specifically, LJ,
Mm-hmm.
was your reaction when this whole thing happened. Because again, I will not mention names, but I have seen some of the content of when the Brick Show went down. Some things that certain entities made in response to that channel going down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in a piece of content that you were a part of, one of the topics of discussion was the Brick Show, and of the videos and of the people that I have seen talk about that subject, you were one of the only people that did an absolutely dunk on the channel and on the channel going down, and dunk on what we had done. And to say that I appreciate that is like not even the correct magnitude for how I feel, when everyone was just slam dunking on the channel because they're kicking a horse while it's down, because they're not trying, like, and a lot of it is kids. And when I say kids, I mean children who don't know any better. But someone like you who can properly articulate how you feel, and you commented on it with professionalism, without taking, this false information and running with it and assuming things when they weren't true, You stayed right on the task. You said what you needed to say. You gave your opinion, and you didn't tear it all apart. I appreciate that, and that's why you're the only person I want to talk about this with too. You have no bias with this situation, and you didn't tear the whole thing apart when it all went down. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So,
And I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Because again, full disclosure, I did not watch The Brick Show. I didn't
yeah,
watch it consistently. I know it enough to know. I remember, oh gosh, I think his name was Jason. He intros the videos with "Welcome to the
sure,
Brick Show." Like I
sure.
remember that, and I remember when it happened. I think it might have even been before Jason's video. I know the channel had gotten taken down because of, I think presumably at the time it was leaks. And I know how that goes because the TTV channel almost got taken down. It was around the same time too. Ladies and gentlemen, understand one very important thing.
Did I?
Don't mess around with Star Wars Lego leaks. They
Right.
will come back to bite you.
Yeah.
Because our channel, we had non watermarked official retailer photos of the Last Jedi sets, and the channel was struck, and in a week it was going to be deleted. Uh, Fortunate timing made that not happen, but I understand exactly how awful that is. Anyway, back on point. With the Brick Show, I was never a consistent watcher. I never had any major interactions with any of the individuals who worked on it, but I understood that the channel was a channel that made content that people enjoyed. That honestly, it was one of those pioneer channels. It was one of those very early YouTube channels that really set the stage for how a lot of creation and an ambition that people would end up having going forward. So it obviously it had a staple in the community. It was the Brick Show. And so knowing that, I was just horrifically confused at why there was such a hostility toward it from a lot of prominent members of the current Lego community. And
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you, obviously, in the sense that I don't like this pushing forward negativity. I don't like tearing people down. That being said, I do see merit in addressing people's words and actions where applicable. So
Of
that's why
course.
I will mention people by name, but not in the sense that I want people to go after them or to badger them about things
Right.
or to ask people, hey, make sure they listen to this. Or
Yeah.
use an audience in a way that is unethical at its core. Or try and bring those people that I'm going to discuss down. Trust me, I'm not naming any names here. You're good. You're all good. I'm definitely not doing that. But like when I'm on TTV, when I want to discuss something that somebody has said and feel that it's necessary to address them and address their words in the context of their position in the community as a widely watched and consumed content creator, I feel like I go into that with the idea that one needs to be constructive before they can criticize.
Right.
They like I need to go into a call out, a named call out with the idea of I'm not doing this to drag them down or to make them seem like they have done something egregiously wrong. I need to go into this with the understanding that what I'm going to say needs to be said to try and help them understand where other people might be coming from and why what they're doing might be to the detriment of other people in the community who just want to be a part of the hobby. So that's
Right.
why I have no qualms about discussing people's words or actions, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to contextualize why exactly whatever they're saying or doing might be harmful. to try and then say, listen, you might take it from me. You might look back on this and go, I made a huge mistake. I, I really don't like to even think about this. I want to try and get people to understand you don't want to have these instances. So take the time now to realize why this might not be a good idea. Give it some thought, marinate it, get a good stew going, and just take an opportunity to try and course correct and be like, hey, you know what? This is out of line. And so that's why when all this was happening, I could only think to myself, why is this vitriol necessary? It isn't. There's no answer to that question that is, well, this is why. There is no explanation. There's no rationale.
I might have an answer.
Oh?
So, what a lot of people from the community have seen is that with the Brick Show, not only did they produce Lego videos and like the reviews and whatnot like that I was doing, but they were also going to conventions and selling Lego. So I feel like there's this boogeyman feel between you make videos on YouTube, but you're also a reseller. So these guys were resellers, quote unquote, whatever you want to phrase it as. Now, something that they had always told me from the very beginning, they were never, ever YouTubers. They didn't want to be YouTubers. They didn't want to be personalities.
I remember
Those guys,
yeah.
those guys are there to make money, feed their families, and go to bed. And that's what it was about. It just happened that this was the medium that they were doing it with, where there's such an incredibly passionate community that isn't focused around the financial aspect of running a business that loves Lego. So they were like inadvertently fostered into this thing where toward the end of the channel's life, like even before it was gonna go down or whatever, like part of the idea was that they were going to use the YouTube channel as a marketing tool for their shop to sell custom Lego kits and sets and figures and whatnot. And obviously, I did not want that to happen because people loved that it was a channel that reviewed sets and figures and all this sort of stuff and showcased mocks and blah, blah, blah. But that just wasn't financially sound. And that's not what they wanted to do. And it's not to say that they didn't care about the community, but I definitely cared about the people and what they thought and the content itself. And they were focused on other things. So for all these people, like on the outside looking in, they have no idea at all. But I'm hearing it all from these guys. And to me, it obviously makes sense. And I think to anyone who knows that, it makes sense because they never wanted to be, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Brian. They don't want to do that. That's not their concern. Yeah. They're older. They got families, dude. Like this is beyond any 21-year-old punk who wants to go on a video and go on a tirade about that. Like that is not even on their like plate. Like they're feeding families, man. Like what are you, so it's from that perspective that people just don't get, because I feel like a lot of the people are so young. Like these are actually kids, like under 13 years old, who don't know about these sort of situations yet or how to handle them. And some of them might be our age and they might be older and they're still acting like that, which is inexcusable, but hey, whatever. So that was always the perspective. And I never like the whole selling Lego. I just want to make videos, dude. I just want to entertain people. That was always my focus. So for everyone else to, hop on the bandwagon of like, oh, these guys are jerks and blah, blah, like, you just don't get what the business is. Like this is a business to them. When you get to a certain point of having so many subscribers and, you got to file taxes and you have to do business expenses and file as like a self-employed person and all that, like it's a business. That is what it is. And a lot of people who are probably watching right now don't even understand that, because it gets to that point eventually.
Yeah.
Like when you're that big and there's so many moving pieces involved, like they had multiple offices and inventory and blah, 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 blah. Like it's a big deal. So the community wasn't their biggest concern. And what I was disappointed by was I was never asked to back up any of the videos that they had done. So if I were running it like my way, I would have taken like either the most iconic or every single video, upload it to an account. That way it's just there. So if people want to watch it as a part of their childhood, as a part of nostalgia, they can go for it. But, you know, that wasn't they I'm assuming they have videos of their own, but I know I have every video I've ever made in my life, or at least, 90% of them. So I
Mm-hmm.
would want it to be up just from that point of view. But, you know, they had the intention even before the channel went down, like, we're going to change this into like we're going to promote our stuff and that's going to be it. And I'm like, "Oh, that sucks. I don't want that." But like, and then people on the outside would look at it like, "Oh, well, what are they doing now? This is you know."
Yeah.
So it was already going down that path anyways, and I just wish that people would still be able to view stuff if they wanted to. Unfortunately, a lot of it they can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely understand because I definitely always worry about my reviews not being seen, even being inaccessible. Like I have all of them backed up, all of them. That's an entire catalog of Bionicle reviews, unlike
Yeah.
anything anyone's ever seen. So of course I want to keep them kept.
There's
Um,
people, there's kids who are going to look at your videos and, whoever that are going to go back to it or want to go back to it 5 years from now and be like, "Oh, I want to see LJ talk about this thing again. I love this guy.
yeah,
Like, he
they're,
has a
they're,
great
yeah.
outlook."
I've gotten quite a few people actually who've even said that. It's like, oh man, I remember
Yeah.
growing. I remember growing up on these
It makes you
videos,
feel
these
old,
reviews.
doesn't it?
It's weird. It's super weird, but
Yeah.
it's super.
Yeah.
It's humbling. Um,
Yeah.
but no, it's like because I relate to that a lot. And even back then, I looked at the situation happening and going, why is this deserved? It isn't. It simply is not. And I definitely had no qualms when it came to discussing the people that were saying it and being like, listen, this is nasty. There's no reason for it. And it just seems childish and immature. And I still feel that way. I still feel that the people that were involved in it really stepped out of line in acting that way. And they've acted that way about other people as well. And it doesn't make any sense to me.
And
I don't get it.
it was great having that all unfold and then me going to Brick World Chicago that later that like within 10-day period, whatever.
Uh-oh.
It's me.
No.
And I wore the Brick Show shirt and said, "Hey, anyone who supported the channel, come by and sign my shirt." Cause like if this is it, then this like I would love anyone to sign my shirt no matter who. And to see videos come out of that convention specifically and people at that convention who would dunk on the channel for the only family friendly way I can describe it right now.
Nah, yeah, I
Uh,
get you.
know how many people came up and asked me about like the channel going down. Only one, Josh Hanlon, who wanted an actual factual thing about what was happening. Nobody else approached me about what was going on, either people that knew that I worked for the channel or didn't. No one asked because it was just more entertaining to dunk on it and get a view out of it and move along. And you know what? That's okay because I know that I gave everything I could to it, and I know for a fact that I will not foster that kind of community ever. And if it ever came to that, I'd just quit. I'd just be gone.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'll also say is that I am a very, very, very big fan of the phrase that you are who you associate yourself with, right? So my if you looked at all of my friends and
Nope. Nope. Hold on. We're experiencing some more difficulties. Hello? Brian? You there? See, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not certain exactly what's happening now. So we're going to need to give this just a moment to try and figure out what exactly is being impacted this time. I'm not certain that it's me.
Associate yourself with those people?
Hold on, Brian, hold on.
Yeah.
All right, you got totally chopped out. Something happened. I have no idea what, but you got like completely cut off. You are who you associate with is where you got cut off.
Me?
Hang on. Here, let me do something real quick. I think I know what's going on. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right.
You hear me?
Yeah, there we go. We got you now.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
You are who you associate with.
Yeah, you are who you associate yourself with. I know that I will never associate myself with those kind of negative and hurtful people. And if you find that you're surrounding yourself with those people who are bringing other people down, then you got to take a very good look at yourself, because you just might be one of those people too. And all I know is I would hate to be one of those type of people. So
yeah, no, I absolutely agree, 100%. It's the kind of thing where I know there was a whole situation with TTV and whatnot, like a couple of years ago, and when the person in question was revealed to be the person that I had been saying they were for a very long time, there were certain individuals who went out and were like, nah. We're gonna try our best to help him reintegrate to the community. Like, days after all of it came out. To those people, you're not, you don't understand why you're so, I can't put it into words. They're not making wise decisions with who they affiliate with. I think for me, even, it comes into question at that point, what is the extent of association? Because I can always say, like, I definitely don't want to ever be friends with people like that, for instance. And it becomes difficult as someone in the position I am now with this show to be like, would I have them on and not call them out on that? And I get to actually test out whether that would be the case. I'm happy to say, yeah, I can have people on and call them out on things. Like, I will absolutely call them out and be like, listen, you understand why this is not a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I value opinion and perspective, but at the same time, I also value being able to call out rotten behavior.
Totally. I just mean from, I know for like my perspective, like I've had multiple conversations with multiple friends of mine that were, obviously, life is what it is, and it can take you down on a certain path that I don't want to see them go down and whatnot. And I've said to people before, like, hey, not even in regard to my position as Bricks O'Brien, who entertains kids for a living, like as Brian Saviano, dude, like if you're going down this path, I can't support you, because you're not doing something that's cool or good or whatever. And it's not like my morals are super stingent and, I need to have only the best, the good, most good, gracious people around me that are, donate 99% of what they make to charity and whatever. They live in a cardboard box to not, pollute the environment. Like, not like that, but like people that are going to just be good people. and just associate themselves with other good people and bring that positivity around to other people. It's different if it's a professional relationship or a situation where you want to clarify something or whatnot. But I know for me personally, I firmly believe I have a very good read on people right from the gate. I can tell if it's going to be, if you're a good person, bad person. I can just get a vibe. I am very confident in my gut feeling and my vibe and whatnot. And there hasn't been someone that has been that toxic and negative that I would want to give a shot in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're going to spew this sort of negativity, then I just don't want to be associated with you, because whatever. I don't care about what you have to say, because the way that you're presenting this information and the way you're validating it in your own mind does not resonate with me, and I don't want it to resonate with me. You know, I've never had to be in a position like that, at least professionally, where I've had to do an interview or, collaborate with someone that I didn't like or whatever, or I haven't been able to get out of it or avoid the conversation or whatever. So I don't know to that extent, but for me personally, like, I don't associate with those people. End of story. Like,
Yeah.
that's it.
No, I think I think that's a good way of going about it, honestly. I think that makes a lot of sense, and I encourage people to do the same. I think I agree with the sentiment. You are judged by the friends you keep.
100%.
Because it shows to other people what you're willing to excuse and to tolerate. And I often find with a lot of people, that's a lot. That's a lot, and it's a lot of garbage.
Yeah.
I know two names swirling in my head that as soon as the pin drops, make no mistake, they come to light. Not real names. I'm not a doxer. Make no mistake. But they will be scrutinized heavily for the stairs they built for tragedy. Put it that way.
Yeah. I don't want to say I believe in karma, but if you are going to put out negativity into the world, what good does that do? What are you trying to prove? My philosophy for my work too is that, you could turn on the news and go on social media and see so many awful things going on in this world, like real stuff, real stuff. So why would you go onto a YouTube channel or a Twitch live stream and spew negativity when there's already enough real stuff going on in the real world? It doesn't make any sense.
No.
And to do anything else just doesn't, to perpetuate drama or toxicity, it just doesn't make any sense. I really just don't understand it. We should, like, we're all loving this toy that is designed for kids because we want to show this level of creativity by making videos and talking to each other about it and expressing how much we love this stuff. So why would we do anything else but do that? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's something that frustrates me heavily in certain aspects of the LEGO community. And I see this right now in the Bionicle community with some very specific individuals who I keep on referring to, but I refuse to call them out by name because they kind of just do it on their own. Like, they have this tendency of coming into the comments whenever they're being discussed and be like, "Yeah, it's me, I'm the guy he's talking about," which seems really silly. Where are these people that become fixtures in communities, do these things and say these things, and because they do it with a certain charisma and bravado, it's excused, and in some instances it's encouraged, and that's very frustrating. And that's why I really encourage people to kind of take a step back and do not idolize people with followings, is essentially that's definitely, I would recommend being a takeaway. Like,
right.
That's like, you see all these celebrities and they'll say or do something that the general populace sees as being disagreeable. No, I'm not talking about crimes, obviously. I'm talking about just activities, things that they partake in, and they get crucified, metaphorically speaking. And it's like, people with followings are individuals. they're human beings, and human beings are incredibly fallible. Don't idolize people with followings.
No, not at all.
YouTubers, celebrities, don't do it. It will only lead you to a place you're not going to be happy being in, because they're going to do something you don't like, and you're going to be disappointed with them for doing something that you don't like, to the point where you're going to grow an animosity toward them for that, which is going to defeat the point of following them in the first place. Like,
Right.
you like them for something. That something doesn't necessarily mean them being them.
And that separates the art from the artist and how you feel about that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know for me, my moral system, my interests, both on video and outside of video, happen to make it so I don't do anything like heinous off camera anyways. It's not like I can't even give an example. Like, but I don't like, yeah, okay, I don't go out to the clubs and try to like, be a scumbag to women in the club. Like that doesn't happen. It's
Yeah.
not like there's this, oh, here's this dark side to Brian Saviano. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's just not me. So like for a lot of my stuff, it works out that, I love Nintendo and Lego and whatever, and I'm just a nerd and I just sit in my office cuddled up in a Star Wars blanket while doing a podcast with some dude across the country. So, and that's how I'd rather spend my Sunday night than be at my high school reunion with all these people that are just kind of whatever. But that's beside the point. It really just, it depends on how you view it in terms of the art from the artist. And like a lot of the people don't even know, like if someone's being negative and toxic, like they don't like understand, they don't realize. But I try to make sure everyone who watches me knows that, hey, there's gonna be something, I'm gonna say something stupid, I'm gonna mess up, I'm telling you right now, I'm human. Like,
Yeah.
I may be Bricks O'Brien, the #1 content creator on the internet, I'm gonna mess up.
Exactly.
But when I mess up, it's not gonna be like Bricks O'Brien feeds a puppy chocolate. It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's not something awful. It's just gonna, like, we all make mistakes, but there's a difference between making a mistake and saying something stupid and being like an awful human being.
Exactly. Yeah. Like there's a clear difference between being accidentally or making a mistake and then being intentionally volatile.
Totally.
Yeah, I agree. Separating art from the artist, I struggle with that a lot of the time. Like, there are some like YouTube channels that I'll watch and be like, yeah, no, I'm not big on the person, but the content it can stand on its own. And then there are other things like movies where something will come out about some actor or actress or what have you, and I'm like, well, that changes how I look at them, and I don't know how I feel about watching this movie now because I won't be able to get it out of my head. It's I struggle with it. I struggle with it a lot, so I can't recommend either one way. It's like, can't tell you.
It's really on an individual basis, and people are gonna figure things out on their own time, and if they even care. Some people just don't care, and that's fine too. But if you're gonna support someone and it's gonna be negative, then I guess by association you're supporting this negativity, which I don't. All the people I watch they do positive things, and they donate to charity, and be positive influences in their own realms. And I just know I wouldn't want to support anything other than that. But that's just me personally.
Yeah. No, and I agree.
And this got really philosophical.
No, I mean, that's good. I like this. This is what I like. I like being able to have these conversations and and provide the unique perspective, because I think that matters a lot, so that you can take these different perspectives, you can compare them, you can contrast them, and you can see all of these different points of views and perspectives in this hobby, and I value that greatly.
Yeah.
So, all right. But that being said, first of all, Brian, thank you so much for saying all of that and being as frank as you were about everything and opening up to the conversation and disclosing all of that. I really do appreciate it, and I'm glad that you're here to give that perspective and kind of discuss what happened. I really do appreciate it.
I mean, there's obviously more nitty gritty stuff. There's
Oh yeah.
more about how I felt about, me working for them in general and other things too. But, I could go on for literally like hours.
Oh yeah.
But
No, I get you.
it's just that's the message that I wanted to first get out, was to anyone in this community who has seen the situation or cares to know the situation, the nuts and bolts of the whole thing. That's what it is. Um, and it's taken me a while to want to talk about it, and it needed to be bouncing off of the right person. You are like actually the only person I wanted to talk to, and I'm not over exaggerating. I'm not jerking your chain. I'm 100% honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
because you know what right questions to ask and give the feedback, and you're not biased and not any, and that's the exact person I wanted to talk to. So thank you, and thank you for being, if anything, just neutral on the situation and not dunking on me. And I mean, if you ask my friends how I felt in the weeks of it happening, you'll get a very different, not family friendly answer. But but that's me personally, and I can talk and say and do whatever I want, and it is what it is. But
Yeah.
that's the message I wanted to get out, on video with you right here. So thank you for allowing me to do that, man. I appreciate it.
Literally any time. Absolutely. I'm glad to have been able to help facilitate that, because it's important to have that out there and have it in the discourse so that it can be discussed and considered and there so that people can understand. Because I can assure you, if there's one thing I am actually, I believe, confidently good at doing, it is staying neutral when it comes to discussions and conversations and situations and so on. Can I be biased? Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah, we all can, of course.
Oh yeah, we all have our biases, but it's the kind of thing where some situations are they need to be called as seen.
We live in a world right now
Society.
where,
No,
like,
wait, sorry, no.
yeah, the society, right? I tried to avoid saying that. We live in a world where it's like facts seem to be less valued than being able to get the message out as fast and as to as many people as you can. So
Yeah.
that's my commentary on society. But yeah, but it's true. So hey,
Yeah.
it gets clicks, and I think that's a whole commentary on social media. That's a whole other hour
Trust
tangent.
me,
But
I'm not a fan of social media. I'm on Twitter to use it as a tool, focusing more on the media part than the social.
so let me do a small side tangent, and then we can get on to anything else if we
Yep.
want to talk about it. But
Go for it,
so
and then we're gonna go and move on the questions, and we're gonna start to kind of wind down.
okay, cool. So one thing that I think is incredibly interesting is people being upset that Instagram, as an example, would remove the ability to see how many likes a post has.
I think that's a great
Have you
idea.
heard about that at all? I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yep, 100% agreed. I think that's an excellent idea.
Do you know how many people constantly ask me how many subscribers I have? I have it hidden on my channel. You can't see it. How many people ask me, as if that number matters to people who are watching my videos? You know how many young people are getting, and people in general, people my age especially, are incredibly insecure because of how many likes they don't have, because they feel that they need to be validated by how many likes that they have on an Instagram post. And if this doesn't get 50 or 100, I'm going to delete it and do something else to try to get this. And it doesn't matter. Like, those numbers don't matter. Why do those numbers need to be there? They don't. Like, it doesn't help anything. And I think it is incredibly toxic for people to get obsessed with those sorts of things. So
yeah,
that's just a small commentary, which is why comments and likes and blah 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 going away on YouTube. I'm like, that's fine, whatever. So
you know what? I agree so much. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same. I'm going to hide the amount of subscribers on this channel because, and I've been very frank about this, while also being LJ, I really don't care about the analytical side of things. Like, I don't care how big my channel is. All I care about is it being a hobby that I enjoy partaking in, and that I can hopefully help others enjoy partaking in as well.
Right.
So,
And
done. Saved.
It just matters you putting out good content and people appreciating it for what it is, and the amount of people, and I'm sure you've heard it too, more people should be watching or listening to these videos. Why aren't people? Like, people, it'll get discovered, it'll get figured out, you'll adjust, and you can see it on your end. That's fine. But what does the information matter to the outside world? In my opinion, it doesn't. It's just a metric for other people to judge you based on who you are. I don't care if I have 1 million subscribers. I don't care. The only way you would know if I have 100,000 subscribers is if I have that silver play button in my background. That's the only way you're going to know. But you can tell how many subscribers someone has by the amount of likes and, views and whatnot, that public information.
I don't know. I actually don't think that you can judge it based off that anymore. Because, for instance, the TTV channel, 52,000 subscribers, whatever, over 50,000. Maybe 2,000 views if it's a good video. Otherwise, it averages below 1,000.
Which is crazy.
Which it is what it is. It's whatever. But I think it's actually very difficult nowadays to judge based off of view count.
And some people get so consumed by it. People that don't know any better and haven't figured out that it actually doesn't matter. Like, the opinions of other people don't matter and whatnot. But so that's a tangent. I'm sorry. I feel like
I'm happy with it. No, go for it. Yeah.
I feel like I'm on the high pedestal. I'm like, you kids out there, you don't realize society and COPPA. Like, I feel, oh man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I get you.
Hopefully it's all been like truthful. Like, it's all like, this is just how I feel. This is what I've seen, and like, this is the feedback I've gotten, and it, Yeah.
No, I agree. Oh man, that was awesome.
Yeah, no, it was. Next time I see you, we're hugging it out, man. We'll hug it out.
All right. I usually don't like people touching me, but I will make exceptions.
Okay,
I can
cool.
make this an
well,
exception.
I'll give you a pat on the straw hat. How about that?
No, it's all right. It's all right. We can have a hug.
Okay.
One of those quick, strong, manly hugs. Like, come here.
Yeah.
Like, all right, yeah. No.
One of those. All right, cool.
We'll make it work.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Are there questions?
We have one email because I got my announcement out very late. Honestly, like, these last 4 weeks have been very busy. November was a long month.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead, open it to questions in the live chat. I'm going to read off this email question, and we're going to go ahead and close things out. You ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Let's do this. All right, so the email comes from Lego David, who asks 2 questions. 1, what do you think would be a good alternative website for the Lego community to migrate to after the COPPA changes?
Ooh. So you do one question, then the next one?
Yeah, we'll do that one.
That's a very good answer. Or question, rather. I mean, hopefully it's a really good answer, too. I mean, it depends on what the community wants to focus on. If they want to focus on video or picture sharing or discussion, because I've seen people still use Flickr for pictures, which is ridiculous. Absolutely the most ludicrous platform to put your pictures on, because Flickr is so not integrated well for mobile. It's so obtuse to use, and I hate Flickr, but whatever. So people use Flickr instead of like Instagram and other places. People upload videos to YouTube, they live stream on Twitch, and there's still like the Eurobricks forum, like an actual forum, like a 1999 forum that people still talk on. That's definitely not like social media-esque. And obviously kids don't want to be on Facebook because Facebook is lame. Reddit is for nerds like me. Twitter is a bit kind of so yeah, I don't know. I don't know where people should go specifically, but I mean, YouTube, it could still survive on YouTube in some way in terms of content, but in terms of discussion, I think Reddit is a great place to go. Videos can be shared and pictures can be shared on there too. But I don't know it depends on, I guess, what your goal is. I guess people go to all those places anyways to just talk about stuff. It's just gonna, it's gonna evolve into whatever form it's gonna evolve into. In terms of video stuff, I guess Twitch is really the only other option that is not outdated and user friendly. So I guess that would be it.
All right. Yeah, no, those are perfectly fair recommendations, and definitely good to consider, if nothing else.
Yeah.
All right. Next question is, what do you think about the recent acquisition? Fudge, dang it, no. We could have an entire...
Okay, sure, okay.
No, I'll ask it. Make no mistake, but I swear
Okay.
we could have an entire episode about this. It's a fascinating subject, and I wish we had more time to discuss it. But I'll ask it regardless. What do you think about the recent acquisition of Bricklink by the Lego Group?
I think it's incredibly interesting that they decided to buy it because it is a big entity buying a secondary market that is exclusively like like Lego is buying up its secondary market that exclusively sells its product. So it's not like Lego buying eBay that just they happen to sell Lego and there's other stuff on there too. They're buying literally just the Lego reselling website. So I would think from a business perspective, if Lego allowed people to sell new pieces at a cheaper cost than what Lego sells them for is dumb. So why would Lego allow that? So things like that are definitely cause for concern. I know that people love to buy figures individually, and it's always a issue of licensing, why they don't sell the figures individually at the Lego store, and why would they sell just the figures when they can toss Thanos in $100 set and you're forced to buy it and get all the gems and blah blah blah. So I don't see why that philosophy wouldn't be seeped into Bricklink eventually, because now that Lego owns Bricklink, well, wouldn't it be upholding the same policies as a Lego proper? Like, why would that not be the case? So I think those things are going to change. I don't know about fees and whatnot, but the fact that I think the beauty of Bricklink was that it was an independent entity that Lego didn't have control over. But now that's obviously not the case. You are 100% going to see changes. You are like, there is no doubt about that. I know that there was some talk about, oh, well, I don't think they're going to change anything. Well, if they didn't want to change anything, then they wouldn't have bought it in the first place. Like, I don't know what the goal of it was necessarily, maybe just to get the data or whatever. But there's definitely something that is going to happen long term with it that I think people aren't anticipating yet. But for people that have their own Bricklink stores and rely on that as their main business, I mean, hey, man, you do what you got to do. But I don't know, man. You know what I mean, man?
Yeah, no, I 100% know what you're talking about. And I'm very skeptical. I'm very skeptical. Like, I think I like Lego, company-wise-ish. They've done some things that I greatly disagree with. And they're like every other company. They're a company.
Of course.
And so I'm very skeptical about this because I love Bricklink. Bricklink is an incredible resource. It's a wonderful service. They have aided the Lego community in great ways for so many years. And so I'm very skeptical to see what's going to happen. I'm not 100% on board. And I'm not ready to naysay yet, but I'm also not ready to be like, oh yeah, no, things should be fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. I don't think even Lego knows yet. But make no mistake, if you don't think changes are coming, you're going to be sorely disappointed when they do, because they will.
You may want to buy up pieces at cheap prices while you can, I guess.
I would certainly recommend it. I've been considering that as well. Helps that I got paid recently, so I can do that.
Hey. There you go.
You know, and all them YouTube dollars. No, I'm screwing around. It's from my work. No. But yeah, so very skeptical. Okay, comment questions. You ready for these?
As ready as I'll ever be.
All right. I got to find them first.
That's fine.
Oh, boy. Come on. Where are they?
I'm sure somebody...
Oh, yeah?
No. Sorry. You go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'm This episode has been very difficult to do. There have been many very difficult technical difficulties that have made it very hard to get through. Now, very frustrating aspects of it, with the internet and the computer and OBS and Google. And there was a point where I was really just ready to throw in the towel and be like, you know what, I can't do this tonight. I'm tired. I got off work like maybe an hour and a half ago at the time. We'll push it off. But I am so happy that we persevered and we kept going, because this has been
totally.
a lot of fun. This has been great.
Yeah. It's always fun with you, LJ. I think this works pretty well, man.
I'm glad. It's always fun with you, Brian. This has been a blast. I'm really, really glad. Okay, I found the questions. All right, so Wombat Combat Productions asks, just curious, is the Eljay Johnsen Show back for now? Yes, for now. I'll say tentatively for now, pending any catastrophic issues. Like, I definitely need to look into this internet thing. I'm afraid that it's a computer issue, which I really hope it isn't, because my younger brother and I recently installed another hard drive to the computer. So I got to make sure everything in there is okay. Because if not, I'm going to be very, very frustrated. Real quick, you can still hear me, right? Brian?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, okay, just got to make sure. So, we'll see. For now, yes, it's back. Maniac for Bricks, is that Joey? It is.
Is that Joey?
He asks, for YouTube channels marked as for kids and having restrictions, are they going to lose the ability of uploading scheduled videos or premiered videos, or do we not know yet? As far as I'm aware, we don't know yet.
We don't know.
Yeah, it has not been a stated restriction. So,
I think that's the last thing on people's minds of that feature specifically. I think the ad revenue comes first, and then the comments and stuff. Yeah, I don't know if they've wanted to clarify that yet.
I'm not sure either. Okay, E-Logger Official asks, where do you see your channel going in the next few years?
Eli, always asking the great questions, man. Always.
That's fair.
I don't know, dude. I just wake up every day. I try to harness the positive energy I can to play video games for the best people to exist on the internet and take it from there. I've always wanted to do I want to do other things, and I ask myself, I've been asking myself the past 2 months. I'm like, well, I could just cover every single new video game that comes out and do a playthrough until literally the day I die. But do I want to do that? But also, I don't want to leave this audience that I've created and that obviously want to see me do cool things. So what do I want to do? What do I want to accomplish? Who do I want to accomplish it with? What I will say is something that will not stand in 2020 is the idea of me being in my office here alone 10 hours a day, 4 or 5 days a week by myself. I hate with a passion being alone. And I do not do well being isolated voluntarily or involuntarily for long periods of time. And I want to be able to work with more people or doing more things collaboratively or in real life, or just doing something to help really stimulate that part of my brain that just needs to be around other people. Because I could literally do this all the time and just not collaborate with people and just keep doing this, and that's just not what I want. That's not what I want in life. And it's it's definitely gotten to me in the past few months. So whatever evolution you'll see for me, it'll not be alone, and it'll involve probably other different types of media. I really want to do a podcast similar to what you do, LJ, but I don't know about guests. Do I want to do guests? Do I want to do this? I've talked for years about wanting to drop a really nice hip hop album. We'll see if I do that. Ooh. Will it be kid friendly? Am I gonna, be talking about COPPA? Who knows? Who knows? But will there be a children's book, new merch? I have no idea. Yeah. There's so many things I want to do, but all I know is I cannot and will not do it alone. That's all I have to say.
I think that's fair. And hey, listen, if you have any questions about podcasting, ask away and I'll do everything in my power to assist
Oh, I will.
where possible. All right, cool. Awesome. Don't be dissuaded by my do not disturb symbol. It just it's just a symbol because of the notifications, because it's just easy to have on. But make no mistake.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
When you're not dying with work, I'll message you.
Fair
You
enough.
get
No,
back to me when
that's
you
fair.
can.
Trust me, when I'm offline, it means one of two things. I am asleep, or I am at work, or I am one of those two at the same time. So,
Nice.
yeah. All right. Let me see here. As far as I'm concerned, I have no idea. I can never answer this question because I don't know. I've sincerely no idea. My channel might stop at any given time, and I would let everyone know about that if that were to happen. Not planned. Make no mistake. You know, I might get too busy for it. I might break into my career of choice, which is, as many of you know, voice acting, and this becomes more of a wayside hobby than it is. I don't know. But as of now, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm still going to be making videos here. So
I think I have like 2 New Year's resolutions.
hit me.
One of them, well, I won't hit you because then that's a scandal. I can't have that.
No, that's fair. Understandable.
Yeah. One of them is to see my friends and family more often.
Mm-hmm.
And like, because I have plenty of people I haven't talked to as much, and I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I do want to make like a reel and do the whole voice acting thing too. You put that bug in my head unintentionally. I'm like, I could probably do that too. Huh,
Yes.
okay.
Absolutely.
Let's I got the microphone. Let's go. All right.
Yeah.
So I want to, I'm 2020. It's we'll see.
Yeah. Let's both do it, because 2010 was, I think, the year I firmly decided this is what I want to do for a living. This is the direction I want my life to head. I want to be a professional voice actor. And so I'm going to try very hard to begin that part of life in 2020. Very hard.
Yeah, definitely.
So, all right. Next question. Nether Iviperio, I know I mispronounced that, asks, I got a Bionicle lore question. Does Matau like Nokama? In one of the Adventures books, he says Nokama. Let's see. Yeah, he says, Nokama, I want you to know. I need you to know that I've always... And it cuts off, so does he like her? No. Long story short, no. Creative liberties. It's a whole thing. I'm not going to bother getting into it now, but no.
I thought we were going to go... Thought we were gonna go the whole episode without talking about Bionicle.
Oh, I can't. It's physically impossible for me. One of these days, I might be able to manage.
So close.
Listen, I do enough not talking about Bionicle at work. I need an outlet.
Right, yeah. No, that's the thing I've noticed, like, everyone who's watching, like, they love Bionicle, dude, like, a lot. And I'm like, what? How?
Yeah.
Where do you people come from?
One of
like,
these
it's
days,
fine, but...
One of these days, I think you might understand. I think I'll have to help you experience Bionicle. And then
yes.
you might kind of start to empathize with a lot of people who like it.
I'm not opposed, man. I'm not opposed.
Absolutely. All right. Tesla Effect asks, LJ and Brian, will you mark your entire channel as for kids or just individual videos, and what about TTV?
I know for me that I don't necessarily aim for kids, so I think a lot of what I do, if not everything, could fall under made for kids with the vague descriptions that the FTC has put out right now. I wouldn't necessarily... I'm not going to mark mine as for kids for now. If there are other people in my position who take a similar path, then I will. But I'm not going to right now because, I don't intro my videos with like, oh, hey, kids, what's going on? It's your boy. We're going to learn about the alphabet. Like, it's not that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You just kind of have to take it as it comes. So,
yeah. No, that's fair. I will probably be marking my channel as for kids, because while it isn't I am a little hesitant about what's going to happen in the future in the coming month. I'm not married to that right now, but I'm considering it. As for TTV, it's still under discussion. We don't know yet. So we're still trying to figure it out and seeing exactly what path we're going to be taking. So I can't say anything more than that. Okay. Maniac for Bricks asks, question for both. Is there a single LEGO theme you would collect every set from? LJ, other than Bionicle.
Ooh, that's gonna be a tough one. It won't be a tough one. You must have something in mind.
Yeah, no, I do. And, I mean, he has to ask that, because if I say Bionicle, I'm done. I've already done that. Game over! So, but Brian, you first.
I actually have already done it, as far as it is right now. Harry Potter, the new Harry Potter stuff.
Oh, snap!
I really love the new Harry Potter stuff. I was not into Harry Potter 3 years ago, and then I watched the first two movies and I'm like, these are dumb. And then I watched the third one and I'm like, oh boy. So now then I got really into it, and Fantastic Beasts as well as everything else. So the new Harry Potter stuff, I have everything from in terms of an old theme, just to play with the question because that was kind of an easy one for me to answer. A theme that I liked that everyone dunks on is Knight's Kingdom from the early 2000s. So.
Yeah, Knight's Kingdom 2? Is that right?
Yeah, so that would probably be it. There's no theme Harry Potter, it's licensed and it has context and whatnot. There's not really a single theme that like hits it out of the park with every single set, in my opinion. Maybe except the original Lego movie. All those sets are pretty stellar, and I love the Metalbeard ship. It's one of my favorites of all time. But I don't know. Yeah, it would have to be Knight's Kingdom 2 just to, for my childhood's sake, and I guess maybe a Lego movie.
Well, those are really solid choices. Yeah, no, that's awesome. My answer is pretty straightforward. It's Exoforce. Exoforce.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Oh,
I thought about saying that one, but
yeah, it's boss. I love that theme to death. It's got so many great sets. The Chameleon Hunter obviously being my favorite, and yeah, no, it'd be Exoforce and Bionicle. Okay, next question. We'll move on. Okay, Tesla Effect asks, LJ, I found you a gig to do voice acting for a video game voiceover. Would you be up to it? Granted, it's not a paid gig. It's mostly there as a fan project dubbing Final Fantasy IX. I say tentatively yes. And there's a project I'm involved in right now, Bionicle series, that I still need to get my voice lines done. Unfortunately, it's a lot of lines that all need to be recorded individually. And I'll tell you right now, that is daunting. And given that it's unpaid, I can't exactly express my motivation is high. But I agreed to do it. I will get it done. That being said, taking on other projects right now is probably not my wisest course of action. But send it over. I'm certainly curious and not opposed in any sense.
Man, you're such a professional the way you worded that. You like I just saw you like gracefully take out the shotgun and just load it, and then you just shot that right down a little bit, not as much, but just like a little bit wind out of the sail there. Like, man, you're good.
I mean,
you're real good.
I'm totally down. It's just, oh gosh, long projects that don't pay are.
That's life. Yeah.
I mean, trust me, I want to be a voice actor, but I'm not going to be a voice actor because I have been intimately passionate about being a voice actor for the art of it. It's not like I've looked at voice actors and gone, yes, that is the eloquence of which I wish to express with my heart and my soul, the art of which shall be heard in audio museums in 2029. No, it's because I want to be paid for something that I'm reasonably confident I would be quite good at. That is why I want to be a voice actor. Make no mistake.
It's very graceful, man. I appreciate that kind of response.
I've put a lot of work into my improv. Trust me.
Dude, I have too, and I don't think I could have came up with that in like that second. I would just be like, we'll see.
No, I think you could. Handedly.
Great.
So, Okay. Let me see here. That's basically gonna be it. Yeah,
Cool.
no, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it there. Brian, is there anything else you would like to impart upon anyone who's listening?
Well, anyone who's made it this far, thank you so much for listening, watching, and tuning in. I encourage you to do just a few simple things. One, be a good person. Don't be a dookie head, please. Just don't be awful. And also, here's your reminder to get some sleep, drink some water, and take a shower. Okay, take a shower. It's important. Rejuvenate yourself. Okay, got to do it. Surround yourself with good people, and eat relatively healthy today. Whenever you're watching this, if you already made a bad mistake, just do it tomorrow. But and if you're feeling sad today, listen, go grab yourself a pint in Ben and Jerry's. Go to town. That's what I'm gonna do, man. So one of the days that I live stream like Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, and one of the days it happens to be Valentine's Day this upcoming year, and provided your boy Bricks O'Brien doesn't have a hot date, can't wait to sit down with a pint of Ben and Jerry's and just cry on camera.
Oh my gosh.
If you want to see that content, you can go over to my channel. And I see people in the chat here asking what my opinion on The Last Jedi is. I actually answered this last time, but because LJ has graciously had me on twice, I was able to answer this already. I will say that it is a series of pictures that convey the sense of moving, both with real humans and fake humans, made to entertain some individuals on both large and small screens that exist for the sake of generating profit for Disney, is what I'll say.
Gosh, I wish nothing more in the world than for that right there to be an elaborate way of saying it sucks using the first letter of every word you just said.
Imagine if I were that smart. No, I'm not. No way.
That's what I want so badly right now.
I planned it out that way. No. Not even a little bit. Not even close.
Fair enough.
LJ, you think I'm that smart? Come on now, man. You should know by now. Not a chance.
Not even I have enough improv to really respond to that. All right. Well, I think those are great reminders. I will definitely be partaking in some of those tonight as well. The food one, the sleep one, definitely. But not before some good old rock and rolling on some Call of Duty.
Ooh, boy.
Oh, yeah. I've been waiting all day. So, but more importantly, Ryan, it's that time. Go ahead, plug away, and tell everyone where people can find you on social media or anywhere you'd like to be found.
If anyone wants to tune in on February 14th, 2020 to watch me cry live on camera, you can tune into my YouTube channel, which is Brian Saviano. If you just toss my name into the YouTube search bar, it all pops up. I also live stream on Twitch 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for Fridays for Fortnite Fridays at 5 with Bricks O'Brien. I play a variety of different games and not Lego stuff because I've covered enough Lego to last my entire lifetime. Who knows if I'll go back into it one day, but I like to have a great time with the people in the audience who tune in or play along. So if you pop in and say hello, odds are I will say hello to you back, tell you to have a great day, and continue to be the best person you can be.
I think that's a great way to end things today. Oh, man. All right. In that case, I, of course, recommend all of you to go check out his content and his streams. I can advocate in the highest sense. They are absolutely quality and well worth your time.
Hey, well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. And you said that I've had you on twice. Certainly not the last time. Make no mistake.
Absolutely not.
If you're down, I would love to have you on again.
LJ, when you say... You tell me to jump, I say how high. That's what it is.
I don't do good at jumping measurements. I'll never ask anyone to jump.
You want to see a 300-pound guy jump 6 feet in the air? If you say, Brian, jump 6 feet in the air, I'll find a way to make it happen, LJ. Don't worry.
I can assure you I will never ask that. Make no mistake. But I certainly appreciate the enthusiasm.
I mean, thank you. Sure. Cool. Thanks, man.
No problem. Happy to help. All right.
Get my workout in for the day, jumping 6 feet in the air.
Oh, man. I got to get back to work now. Gosh dang. I've let that slack so much. All right. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up.
Cool.
All right. So thank you all for listening. Hopefully you had a great time. And let me know what you think in the comments below. While they exist, your thoughts and opinions. I certainly appreciate the time. And hopefully you had a good time here. So thank you all so very much for watching. This has been yet another episode of The Eljay Johnsen Show. This show airs every single Sunday at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, unless specified otherwise, over on Twitter at The Eljay Johnsen, where you can find updates and guest announcements every single Wednesday, provided I have an opportunity to post them. So thank you all so very much for watching. And remember, that's JoHNSEN, which is also the spelling of my email, eljayjohnson@gmail.com, where you can send in questions. Whatever you want to ask, I will do my best to get back to them. That's it. For being gone for 4 weeks, I'm pretty satisfied with that. Thank you all so very much, and we'll see you all next time. Have a great day.